weekly session. This is Sweta Ma'am, your English master teacher at Vedantu. Hope all of you are doing super amazing. And the story that we are going to revise today at one shot, guys, is in the kingdom of fools. Okay, so it's an amusing story, and everybody is going to enjoy the story because it's really enjoyable, and of course with a moral lesson for all of us. So let us quickly delve into the session, guys, without further ado, in the kingdom of fools, and let us summarize the story. Now, there was a kingdom where both the king and the minister were fools. Okay, so we understand from the very title itself. The title says in the kingdom of fools. So definitely the minister and the king both were fools. Okay, and definitely if both are fools, we would understand the condition of the subjects over there, right? So everybody, the entire kingdom was filled with fools. Okay, now what happened in that kingdom was complete reverse order was followed. Everybody used to sleep during the daytime and they used to work and toil during the night. So night and day was completely reversed. Can you imagine? Right? So people fearful of punishment. So that was the order of the king. And of course, people had to follow, because if they do not follow, then then the king would be punishing them, right? Now, one day in that particular kingdom of fools, a guru and his disciple came. Okay, and they found the city empty. Of course, we can understand why did they find that city empty, because everybody was sleeping. It was during the daytime, right? So daytime they used to sleep, है ना? Right. So once evening came, they were amazed to see the city come to life. Okay, so this was just the reverse order of nature that they were following. And they were further astonished to find that every item in the market had the same price. What was that? A doodoo. Okay, so only a doodoo is a kind of currency. Okay, so only a single doodoo was the price of every item. Every item has the same price. That was very cheap. Okay. Now they bought all the food they wanted. They were delighted because very cheap. Everything was very cost friendly, of course, inexpensive. And then, however, after having food, the guru decided to leave. He told the disciple that it's very dangerous to live in such a place where the entire kingdom is run by fools. What they saw around, they were very astonished, and the guru understood that this is really foolish for the people to sleep during the day and be awakened during the night, do all the hard work and have the same price for every item, that to a single doodoo. It's very foolish. So in this particular situation, what is going to come next? Nobody is certain. तो कुछ भी हो सकता है, right? In such a foolish kingdom, if the king can change the order of nature, तो जो king order of nature change कर सकता है, he can change anything, he can do anything. So we should not trust this kind of place. Okay, but the disciple was tempted. He was greedy. Why? Because he saw that the food was very cheap. He could get so much food, right? And that too in a single penny, single doodoo. So it was very cheap, and he said that I am not going, I am not leaving. Okay, he refused to leave and stayed despite the guru's warning. He grew fat on bananas, ghee, rice and wheat. So he used to eat whatever he got, right? And he grew fat. Now, a thief broke into a merchant's house one night. So, एक दिन क्या हुआ? A thief came into a merchant's house. While escaping, he wanted to escape. So, he got into the house, but he wanted to escape. But during his escape, the wall through which he had entered collapsed, and unfortunately, he died. Because he's trying to escape through the wall, but the wall collapsed and he died. His brother promptly went to the king to demand justice. So, just imagine. एक तो उसका भाई चोर था, and the brother is asking, he's demanding justice, right? For whom? For a thief. So, see, just look at the audacity, right? So, this could only happen in a kingdom of fools. So, we can remember the guru's words, right? He was right. Anything can happen here. Nobody knows. He believed it was the merchant's weak wall that caused his brother's death. Just imagine, guys. His brother tried to break into the merchant's house, got, um, killed due to the wall, breaking, and he is blaming the merchant. Matlab, ulta chor kotwal ko daate. That kind of scenario, right? So the king assured, and look at the king's decision. The king reassured the brother and summoned the merchant. उसने merchant को बुला लिया. Look at the king. Look at the king's decision. Look at the king's wisdom. Okay, he blamed the bricklayer. Okay, so who blamed the bricklayer? The merchant. Merchant ने कहा कि अरे मेरी गलती नहीं है. The wall broke. The wall was brick. Wall was weak. It was the problem of. It was the fault of the bricklayer. Then the bricklayer, what did he do? He said he blamed a dancing girl with jingling anklets who distracted him. So he said that I couldn't keep my eyes on the wall. I was building and I was distracted by a dancing girl because of her anklets. Okay, so this cycle was continuing, one blaming upon the other. Then when this dancing girl was summoned, she said she blamed a goldsmith. What did she say? He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. He was not giving my item that I asked him to make. So therefore I had to visit him frequently, and therefore I had to walk up and down a dozen times. So it was the fault of the goldsmith who was not delivering my item on time. And then the goldsmith says that I couldn't finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's orders. So again, the cycle of blame came to a full circle. Again, that particular merchant was blamed. ठीक है, तो अब किसकी गलती हो गई? सारी की सारी गलती उस बेचारे merchant की. So the rich merchant was the father of the merchant. किसकी? वही जो आया था, the person who was summoned, right? So definitely you can see the trial came to a full circle. है ना? The king, reasoning the sons should bear their father's sins, sentenced the merchant to death. Now the poor merchant, okay, he says that the sons should bear the father's sin. Okay, so since the merchant was the father of that particular merchant, I mean that merchant who was blamed finally, so he said that he should be put to death. A new stake was built for the merchant, okay, so that he could be hanged. But the minister thought the merchant was too thin for the stake. So although he built a new stake for him to to be hanged, but it was very thin. The king then ordered to find a fat man who would be fat enough, who would be a suitable person to fit the stake. So just imagine the situation. How is a crime being punished? First of all, it was not the fault of the merchant, it was the fault of the thief who had actually broken into the merchant's house, right? So that was ignored. First of all, theft was not the crime, first of all, okay, according to the king, who was definitely a fool. And second, even if he had finally decided that the crime was the merchant's, he was not even willing to punish the merchant just because he was thin. So he would be picking a random person. Only his fault would be that he would be fit enough to come into that to be hang fit for that stake that he had built newly. So just imagine now, do you remember the Guru's words? Don't you think that he was absolutely correct? Anything and everything can happen in this place, so it's better not to stay. Now the twist comes. What happens when the servant starts searching? Okay, they find after an intense search, they found a person who was fat as a bull. And just imagine who was that person. Yes, it was the disciple, right? So the disciple had become very fat because he was so greedy. He was so amazed to see so many items at a very low price, right? So he was indulging in ghee, wheat and rice, and he became very fat. Bananas, and he became very fat. Now he was the person who was fit for that stake that the king had prepared to punish the merchant. The poor disciple now remembered his guru's words and their wisdom. right? While he waited for their execution, he prayed to Guru to save him, right? The Guru, blessed with the vision. So gurus, yes, gurus are visionaries. They could foretell the future, they could see the future, they could also see far away things, right? So he saw what was happening and came to rescue his disciple. He went to the king and asked to be put to death before his disciple. So he had a plan in his mind. So let's see how what his plan was and how does it work. Okay? The disciple, understanding his guru's intentions, he protested. He said that why should you be punished because of me, my fault? Okay, so he protested. They start arguing, and yes, he understood the guru's intention. That why is he trying to do so, right? And then they start arguing as to who would go first, who would be hanged first. The king was puzzled. अरे ये दोनों इस बात पे लड़ रहे हैं, who is going to be hanged first, who is going to be punished first? How is this possible? He wanted to know the guru's unusual request. Why are you requesting yourself to, be hanged? Okay, so why do you want to be hanged? Okay, so that was very unusual. So he wanted to know the reason, being puzzled. The guru said that he had never seen a kingdom like this, and the stake was new. He wanted to die at the new stake so that he could be reborn as a king in the next life. Okay? His disciple would become the minister. So he said that if I die and in this new stake, I would be reborn as the guru. And you can see that I am the guru. I want to be the guru again in the next year. Sorry. I want to be the king because I am more eligible than my disciple, right? I am the guru. So, and the disciple would become the minister because he is dying after me, right? Now, the king, of course, wouldn't part away from his kingdom, as it's definitely expected from all the kings who never, intends to give away their kingdom, right? So, he had to plan with his ministers. They told the executioner that they would send the criminals at night to be killed. Okay? Then they disguised themselves and went to the stake to be executed. Okay? So they themselves disguised, as criminals, and they went to be executed. The next day, what happened was people panicked because what did they see? Of course, why did the king do this? Because he thought that the one who is going to die is going to be reborn as the king, and so that is why he and all his ministers, they disguised, and the people saw the next day that they were dead, the king and the ministers dead. Okay, so this was of course the guru's plan. So he understood that of course they are fools, so they would be doing what I am thinking, what I am intending to plan, they would be making that successful. So you see how wise the guru was, and how he used his intelligence and saving the not only the life of his disciple but the entire kingdom from the foolish king and his ministers, right? So thinking of the future of their kingdom, they approached the guru to persuade him to become the king, because the kingdom had no king, so of course somebody had to rule. So they found the guru as the correct person, as the suitable person because of his wisdom. Okay, so the guru, of course, after initial inhibitions, initially he did not want to become, because he is a man of, he's not attached to worldly things. So of course, becoming a king would be completely contrary to his being a guru, right? Because of certain, because of requests, okay, from the king, from the people, he finally agreed and he became the guru. And the first thing that he said was the old laws, okay, that was very odd, very unusual, and absolutely contrary to nature, challenge to nature, that should be first changed. So now the kingdom again became a common one, a normal kingdom where day was day and not night. There was also nothing that could be bought for a tutu. So the second rule is the price of the items, that was also changed. I hope guys you have enjoyed the session. Okay, so far, and now I will be starting with the questions. So don't go anywhere. The session is not yet over. But before talking about the questions, before discussing the question and answers, I would like to ask you guys if you would like to join us further, okay, and gain 100% marks and 100% knowledge. You can definitely visit the link in the description box and pin comment, and you can gain unlimited live classes with fun and high level quizzes. You can compete with the students throughout the world, so you get a lot of exposure guys. Because see, YouTube sessions में limited sessions होते हैं जहाँ पे हम live आते हैं, but in our platform we have made that possible. We have unlimited live classes और हर session में आपको quiz questions मिलेंगे. अगर आपको quiz question करते हो, you will be able to understand where you stand, क्योंकि हर question के बाद leaderboard आएगा, sorry, fastest finger list आएगा जो आपको आपका real time performance बताएगा. That's going to give you the competitive feel, क्योंकि फ्यूचर में आप जब भी कंपटीशन में बैठते हो, कोई भी competitive एग्जाम या कोई भी एंट्रेंस एग्जाम, this is very important, and not just for your future, in your board exams also you have to have make use of the least possible time to crack the the पेपर. ठीक है, आपको पेपर ना ही सिर्फ कंप्लीट करना है बट शॉर्टेस्ट टाइम में कंप्लीट करना है, सो दैट यू गेट ample time for revision. So this process is going to help you a lot. Plus you're going to have that competitive feel, you get a lot of exposure throughout the students of the world. Okay, and interactive replays, the replays that you are going to watch, they will also be having live quizzes. That is something which is exclusive, that is something which is superb. Plus it's going to have the leaderboard, तो leaderboard भी आएगा, live quiz भी आएगा, even in the replays. तो leaderboard से आपको पता चलेगा आपका overall class rank and earn points. That is very very essential. ठीक है, plus you have the premium downloadable content with handwritten notes of the master teachers, which you will get at the end of the session. तो कंटेंट भी आपको मिल जाएगा. प्लस यू हैव डाउट सॉल्विंग. ठीक है, डाउट सॉल्विंग के लिए आपके पास स्पेशल फीचर है क्लास टीचर्स का, क्योंकि यूट्यूब सेशंस में हम ले नहीं पाते हैं इतने सारे लोगों का एक साथ डाउट. तो हमारे पास हमने किया है डाउट सॉल्विंग के लिए क्लास टीचर्स. ठीक है, तो क्लास टीचर्स क्या करेंगे, आपके हर एक डाउट को केटर करेंगे इन द क्लास गाइस, लाइव, देन एंड देयर ऑल योर डाउट्स आर गोइंग टू बी सॉल्व्ड. प्लस यू हैव असाइनमेंट्स एट द एंड ऑफ ईच सेशन. अगर वो असाइनमेंट सॉल्व करते हो, यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ मच यू आर एबल टू ग्रास्प द कंटेंट. क्वालिटी टेस्ट आपको मिलेगा. ठीक है, सो क्वालिटी टेस्ट क्या है, हम लेते हैं क्वालिटी टेस्ट एंड वी गिव यू द परफॉर्मेंस रिपोर्ट ऑफ दैट टेस्ट एज वेल. तो उससे आपको बहुत ज्यादा समझ में आएगा कि आपके स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, आपके वीकनेसेस क्या है, एंड ओवरऑल एनालिसिस ऑफ योर परफॉर्मेंस, सो दैट यू कैन इंप्रूव एंड एनहांस एंड बी कॉन्फिडेंट फॉर योर एग्जाम्स. ठीक है, प्लस 5000 माइक्रो कोर्सेज प्लस क्रैश कोर्सेज. नाउ चैप्टर वाइज कोर्सेज भी आपको मिलेंगे. If you have any problems related to any chapter, you can attend the micro course related to that particular chapter. So constantly we are trying to fill up any kind of gap that can arise in the process of education. So crash courses भी काफी सारे launch हुए हैं recently, which you can definitely join. All this for free guys. Not a single amount that you have to pay for extra for all of these. So that all of this is guys for less price. You just need to visit the link. जैसे आप लिंक विजिट करोगे, आपको आएगा कूपन कोड डालने का ऑप्शन. तो आप ये कूपन कोड जैसे ही डालोगे गाइस, SWR Pro, आपको मिलेगा डिस्काउंट, एडिशनल डिस्काउंट. लेट मी टेल यू व्हाट विल बी द डिस्काउंट ऑफर गाइस. सेशन 2022 न्यू सेशन के लिए है बेटा. प्रो प्राइस 2700 एक मंथ का है. जैसे ही आप कूपन कोड डालोगे वो 2160 हो जाएगा गाइस. सो यू कैन सी द एम्पल डिस्काउंट दैट वी आर ऑफरिंग यू. 32,000 का जो फुल मंथ का है, सॉरी फुल ईयर का है, फुल एकेडमिक ईयर का, वो आपको सिर्फ 25,919 में मिलेगा, विच इज रियली रियली कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव, जो कि मिल रहा है आपको 10 रुपीज पर क्लास गाइस, 10 रुपीज पर क्लास. So definitely ये जो फुल ईयर एकेडमिक ईयर का प्लान है, that is highly recommendable because यहाँ पे आप 6% सेव कर रहे हो. All right, 10 rupees per class is not it's lesser than your packet of chips, है ना. So sorry, मैगी जो भी है, ठीक है. So it's very cost effective guys. आप link को visit करो, आप coupon code लगाओ, you will be able to see all the features guys, all the features. ठीक है, कैसे कहाँ doubts पूछने हैं आपको, कहाँ पे आपको assignments मिलेंगे, सब कुछ आपको मिल जाएगा. And of course it's going to be very helpful for all of you, not just for your present but for your future as well. ठीक है. Now let's talk about the theme of the lesson. तो theme हमने क्या देखा? First of all, it's a humorous story definitely. But ये इसका purpose क्या सिर्फ humor है? No. We have seen a very deep moral lesson. We have learned a very deep moral lesson. So indecisiveness. ठीक है. Indecisiveness कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है. So theme of indecisiveness is something which is very important. Decision making power बिल्कुल नहीं है जो kingdom में है. ठीक है. So decision making power is the most important part of your life, right? And the disciple who failed to understand his guru's advice took the decision of staying back in the city, thus landing him into trouble. So if we make this kind of decision making mistake in the decision making, then it is going to land us into a great trouble. So whenever we are taking a decision, it should be a well thought decision, looking at the future. ठीक है. After effect इसका क्या होने वाला है, thinking about the consequences. So we have to be far sighted, just as the guru was, right? Had it not been for the wisdom and presence of mind, also we have seen the presence of mind and guru, and we have seen the guru shishya relationship, right? So we have seen the guru and disciple relationship, okay, and how guru guides the disciple in the correct path. ठीक है. So if we do not listen to our guru, if we do not listen to our teachers, we might take up a wrong decision. So it's very important. They are very important for guiding us throughout our life, right? And in this story, the guru was also helpful in saving the disciples' life. So sensibility and presence of mind. The guru clearly realizes that the city was a world full of fools, right? He doesn't find it sensible to settle there. And then using his presence of mind, he not only saved him but also secured the position of the king, thereby working for the welfare of the entire nation, because he starts changing the entire system which was created by the fool king, right? So foolish people are unpredictable and can be dangerous. This is another important theme, so we should stay away from them, okay? The disciple got tempted by the availability of all the items for one dudu, which was very very cheap, inexpensive, right? In spite of his warning, in spite of the warning of the guru, he did not understand, he did not realize, okay? So that is something which is very important. So decision is something which should be a well thought thing. Okay. Now talking about the message, definitely the story is a folk tale and it gives message. It gives a very good message. First of all, it should be the first message that we get from the story is we should stay away from foolish people. Second, in order to tackle foolish people, one should employ wisdom and not logic. So अगर वो guru क्या करता, उसको आर्ग्यूमेंट से समझाने का कोशिश करता. If the guru would have been making the king realize with the help of arguments, he would not have been successful. So जैसा है आदमी, आपको उसके साथ वैसे ही डील करना है. This is a very practical moral lesson that we are getting in this story, and which we should also follow in our lives. Okay, so whenever we face any person, okay, in our life, we have to understand the person's mindset and accordingly communicate with him. Because if you are North Pole, South Pole, the communication can never take place. If that person is North Pole, you have to make him understand, about North Pole. If you say South Pole, he would not be able to understand. So similarly, if the guru would have been trying to make that foolish king understand that this is not logical, it's not logical to punish an innocent man without any fault just because he's fat and he would be fitted in that stick, this mission would never have been successful, right? So he does not argue or reason the innocence of his disciple, rather he flatters the king. तो जिसको जो पसंद है, the king wants flattery, वो उसको वही करता है. He manages thereby to convince him and that the new state was lucky. वो उसको lucky बोल करके उसको convince किया, right? So therefore he saves the life with the help of his practicality, with the help of his wisdom, with the help of his farsightedness, with the help of his wit, right? So in addition, he becomes the next king and the disciple becomes the next minister. Now, significance of the title. Next topic is title. What do we see in the title? In the very title itself, we can understand, and the title arouses the curiosity. In the kingdom of fools, so what happens in this kingdom? So we are automatically attracted to read the entire story. So definitely it's about the kingdom which is run by a foolish king and his silly ministers who passes, ridiculous order, and the entire action takes place in the kingdom. So definitely in the kingdom of fools, that justifies the title as well. And the reasons that this place, a kingdom of fools, are well exemplified by the episodes in which innocent people. So definitely kingdom of fool, the title is justified by the episodes, right? Jahan pe in the name of justice, you can see the foolish behavior that happens, the foolish, episodes that take place. Innocent people getting caught one after the other in the name of justice, right? So the title stands justified and apt in every possible way. Now we come to the question and answer part, guys. The first one would be the extract based question for 1 mark MCQ. It was a beautiful city. It was broad daylight, but there was no one about. Everyone was asleep, not a mouse stirring. Even the beetle had been taught to sleep by day. तो ऐसा हालत था कि not just people but also the other creatures followed the same process, right? So that is again humorous. Two strangers were amazed by what they saw around them. Let's have the very first question pertaining to this passage. Who are the two strangers? Very, very simple, guys. Please tell me the answer in the chat box. Guru and disciple, king and minister, dancer and bricklayer, none of the above. Very, very simple. It's the guru and the disciple. Why were they so amazed? They were so amazed because of the beauty of the city, because of the beauty of the market. They were amazed because the city was vacant, none of the above. Very simple. Because the city was vacant, right? No, there was no noise, nothing. There was not even a sound, right? And why there was no one in the street? Why was there no one in the street? Everybody was away from home to attend a festival. Everybody was asleep. Everybody was watching TV. None of the above. बहुत simple hai. Everybody was asleep. So give me a quick high five to those of you who have done it absolutely correctly. All of the 3 questions. Great. 2 mark questions, guys. Okay, what are the 2 strange things the Guru and his disciple find in the kingdom of fools? Very simple, very, very simple. The first one is day and night. The second one is everything in a single doo-doo. It was cheap and costed the same. Please mention the cost as well. A single doo-doo. Okay? 3 mark question, guys. Why does the disciple decide to stay in the kingdom of fools? Is it a good idea? The disciple decided because of the cheap food. Again, everything was a single doo-doo, right? So he was tempted. Okay, it was not a good idea because one could be in danger at any time because of the unpredictable behavior of the fools who had changed the entire order of nature. So we cannot trust. It's important to stay away from these kind of foolish people. 5 mark question and the last question for all of you guys. Name all the people who are tried. Tried मतलब जिसका trial हुआ था. Okay, who was summoned in the king's court and give the reasons for their trial. Now this is an important question, guys, because this covers the entire story almost, right? The trial episode. जैसे कि merchant of Venice में हम पढ़ते हैं. Anyways, the owner of the house, that is the merchant, the bricklayer, the dancing girl, the goldsmith. ठीक है? All of them tried because the thief died when the wall of the merchant's house had collapsed. The merchant was tried for building a weak wall. The bricklayer was tried for doing his work carelessly. The dancing girl was tried for disturbing the bricklayer, the concentration of the bricklayer. The goldsmith was blamed for making the dancing girl walk up and down to his house a dozen times. Okay, so basically, these are the points that you have to include in this answer, and just need to elaborate and give a proper introduction and conclusion. Okay, so I'm sure that you would be able to frame your answers taking help from these points that we have added over here, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this session because this is a very enjoyable story, and also we get a good moral out of this story, right? So one short revision, guys. I hope you have also, you are now thorough with the chapter. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Take care. Now you just need to practice writing answers, guys, after this one shot revision. That's a must. Okay. So bye bye. Please don't forget to hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And yes, guys, don't forget to visit the link. Use the coupon code SWR Pro. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. See you again in the next class.